11 years ago, America was introduced to some of the most morally depraved characters to ever exist on television. That's right, we're talking about FX's revolutionary sitcom, It's Always Sunny. I'm Chrissy with Cinematica, and when I think about the characters of It's Always Sunny, only two words come to mind: role models. Hear me out, just for fun. Let's pretend we live in a world where Mac, Charlie, Dennis, Dee, and Frank are people to take legitimate advice from. Hey, if Donald Trump can run for president, then these 5 scumbags can be our tried and true life coaches. That is, if our life goal is to become literal human garbage. Which it is! So get ready, because we're counting down 7 morality lessons from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Let's get started. Number 7. Pretending to have a disability is A-okay. According to the characters of It's Always Sunny, pretending to have a disability is totally cool.
People give you free shit and women treat you like a puppy they just found out on the street.
As long as you're doing it to attract a sexual partner. That's exactly what Dee, Dennis, and Mac do in the Season 2 premiere aptly titled Charlie Gets Crippled. In the episode, Charlie gets hit by a car and lands in a wheelchair. Jealous of the attention Charlie gets, particularly from strippers, Mac, Dennis, and Dee pretend that they too have life-altering physical disabilities.
We've been looking for a new angle.
That does sound like fun.
Good news! You too can pretend to have a disability. Yes, you! But be warned, follow in the gang's footsteps if and only if you'd like to offend every person with a disability in this country. Plus, you'd be jumping into a relationship predicated on a lie. If that sounds right up your alley, then by all means go for it.
What a bunch of scumbags.
Number 6. Revenge is real and necessary. Have you ever been scorned by someone and thought, I should get back at them by filming a terrorist video? Oh, you haven't? That's crazy, because that's what I did to my last 4 boyfriends. They don't return my texts anymore, but their names are all over YouTube as terrorist sympathizers. Sorry, Tyler! But just guess where I learned my vengeful ways. Yep, straight from the It's Always Sunny crew themselves. In the episode The Gang Goes Jihad, an Israeli developer buys the land the gang's bar sits on, thus potentially putting them out of business.
What are we gonna do?
To get back at this developer, Mac, Dennis, and Charlie decide to exploit the developer's Middle Eastern descent and film an aggressive terrorism video in full Islamic garb. Luckily, the boys have the wherewithal not to send the video to the developer. Instead, they throw a bag of flaming poop at his offices, which subsequently burns the whole building down.
Just hope he gets the message.
Number 5. Kids exist solely so you can profit off them.
Feast your eyes on this.
In the Season 3 premiere episode titled The Gang Finds a Dumpster Baby, the gang finds a dumpster baby.
What? There's a baby in this dumpster.
Mac and Dee are the brave ones who volunteer to care for the dumpster baby, or as they eventually call it, DB. They quickly realize they are in over their heads, and right as they contemplate putting the baby back into the dumpster, a passerby on the street tells them that DB is so cute he could be in commercials. Which means ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching for Mac and Dee. They change their tune and immediately go to an agent to get the baby commercial work. Unfortunately, they find out that white babies don't sell right now and that Latino babies are what the industry wants. After a failed attempt to put their baby in a tanning bed, one thing leads to another and Child Protective Services is called. So here's our interpretation of that advice. Children are a blessing, but only if they are cute and ethnic enough to bring in the big bucks. Number 4. Valuing someone based only on their race is good. In the very first episode of It's Always Sunny, we are introduced to these lovable monster characters and find out exactly where their moral barometers lie. While hanging out at the coffee shop, Charlie says something incredibly racist and offensive.
They do have a hanging from rafters.
Wow. Nice.
Unfortunately, his unrequited love, the waitress, played by Charlie Day's actual wife, Mary Elizabeth Ellis, overhears him.
I'll make sure to put lots of cream in
No,
yours.
I was quoting a black friend of mine.
Okay.
Charlie, extremely afraid that his lady love thinks he's a raging racist, asks a woman out on a date and brings that date to the same coffee shop. But why would Charlie bring a date to his mondo crush, the waitress's place of business?
What do you want, Charlie?
Well, because the woman he asks on a date just so happens to be black. What a coincidence. Charlie makes a completely transparent attempt to prove he's not a hate monster by using an innocent woman purely because of her race. I fear what this episode would have been like in the hands of an actor who isn't Charlie Day. He plays an endearing idiot like no one I've ever seen before. Number 3. Use sex as a weapon. Sex can be about a lot of things like love, lust, boredom, too many tequila shots, or, if you're part of the It's Always Sunny gang, emotional warfare.
I had sex with your Dad.
Sex is a big part of this show. Many times the group's selfish ways are motivated by who they're going to have sex with. Sometimes that is completely innocent, and sometimes that is mean-spirited and emotionally damaging. Everyone in the gang will sleep with whoever will help their own personal agenda. In one Season 2 episode alone, Mac bangs Dennis's mom. What? Then Dennis tries to bang Mac and Charlie's mom. What? And then the waitress bangs Dennis's dad, Frank. What? This was all the result of an unending game of one-upmanship. Why this disgusting sex spiral is enjoyable to watch is because this is just not how normal people get back at each other. If normal people are mad at each other, they just text back K, period, and that K could start a 3-day friendship text war. Or if it's in It's Always Sunny land, it could start a sexy yet disgusting war. Number 2, Blackface is funny and totally not offensive. In an extremely funny Season 6 episode titled Sweet D, Shaping America's Youth, Mac, Dennis, and Frank discuss what is more racist, blackface or black voice.
What that white man doing? Come on, that ain't right. Get a black man.
Mac argues fervently that blackface is not offensive, which he displays in the gang's self-made movie Lethal Weapon 5. You heard me. The gang makes a new installment of the Lethal Weapon franchise. Yes, the one that stars Danny Glover.
Getting too old for this.
Nope, no one in the gang is black. But that doesn't stop Mac from going full blackface to portray Danny Glover's famous Lethal Weapon character. This isn't even the only instance of blackface in the series. They film a Lethal Weapon 6 in Season 9, and in the Season 8 episode, The Gang Recycles Their Trash, Dee dons a painted face in order to relate to the city's trash workers, and none of the gang even bats an eye. Number 1, selfishness is a good thing. Perhaps the biggest morality lesson I've learned from It's Always Sunny is that the most important person in any situation is me. Yeah, me.
Look at me when you're talking to me!
That's why if I'm with a big group of people at Chili's and I order an appetizer of nachos, that means those nachos are for me and me only. But I can't talk about my selfish ways without acknowledging the amazing mentors I've had in my life, like Dennis, whose patented strategy to getting women involves insulting and abandoning them.
For Christ's sake, you're a complete sociopath.
Don't interrupt.
Or Dee, who meets a soldier online then immediately ditches him when she finds out he's in a wheelchair. Or Mac, who pretends to be anti-abortion just to have sex with a pro-life supporter, only to insist she get an abortion when she reveals she's pregnant. Or Charlie, who banged a rich girl just to make the waitress jealous and continued to berate and dump the rich girl in front of her family and friends. Or Frank, who calls in a bomb threat to a movie theater just to make sure no one else sees the movie Frank wants to see by himself. Because at the end of the day, what do you really gain by thinking of other people's feelings? Thanks for watching Cinematica's scary foray into the depraved morals of the frightening yet charming characters of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. What have you learned from the It's Always Sunny gang? Which lesson was your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and remember to subscribe to Cinematica, where we help you watch smarter.